Hello, folks. Thank you so much for your patience and welcome back to the Mori Cup, the last of the Mint Mori series where everything pink is all that goes. Myself, Relic, joined by Sov Chan, of course, the lovely Digital Bacon on production today. And just to clear up why we went out. We got some milk, but we have returned sooner than expected. Mostly because, unfortunately, One World had a registration issue where one of their players was not registered. It's just an administrative issue that sometimes slips through the cracks, and we've got to give a big thank you to them because they are the ones who spotted it. They owned up, and that's great sportsmanship. So that's a great thing to do because otherwise we would have been casting here. Everyone would have been wasting their time essentially when we know what the result is, which is, of course, unfortunately, a DQ'd win for Dawn Shard, who go up against the Flightless Crows. There's a big story there. 2-0ing Haunter x Haunter. That's the only two previous champions, actually, in the Mint Mori series. That's not going to be the game that we focus on, but a word for One World, who we believe are changing their name to Beyond Horizon. Apparently, they're going to be in the EU October Open series for next month. We really do look forward to seeing them because, again, that game one could have gone either way. Looked really competitive.
Oh, yeah, it could. It really could. And as you said, it's just kudos to One World. It was so nice to see that when we got the information, it came from themselves. And, well, they know how the rules are, so they're super okay with the DQ getting disqualified because they know that nothing is going to happen in regards to next tournaments and that possibility of joining us, and they are going to be joining us, as you said, Relic, probably going with Beyond Horizon as their name. So super excited for that. Another reminder, we have here the dates once again for our Unite Battle Hub October Open. First, we start from east to west, APAC the 4th, EMEA, Europe, Middle East, and Africa, 11th, NA, 18th, and LATAM, 25th of October.
So exciting.
Yeah, so exciting. As one of their players said, they're going to be playing in the EMEA Open. So very, very just so much to look forward to with new teams and recent teams. And as you were talking about, we have this little story in regards to Flightless Crows. As you mentioned, they have taken down Dawn Shard. No, I'm sorry. They have taken down Haunter x Haunter and Dark Aura, who have been previous champions, and they're going against the runner-up, Dawn Shard. But let's jump right into this. We have the picks happening already on the blue side, on the purple side. Team Shrimple and Buckbix on the orange.
So Team Shrimple, they found themselves with actually a DQ bye as well early on up against Galm. But they have shown their skills to be the dominators 2-0 as well. I've actually played personally with Apple and Lunar Soul. Really great players, really awesome. Lunar Soul, great in that central area. Apple likes to flex around. You usually see him on the Aegislash, today rocking the Mr. Mime. But Bugbix, of course, so going with a very tanky lineup. Blissey, Slowbro, Mr. Mime. You've got your damage dealers in Serena and Mew there with Moonjumper and I Not Sorb, respectively. Bugbix have a history with the Mint Mori series. Really competitive team. They just haven't necessarily made it to those later stages, as Mr. Producer says in my ear and rightly points out. They are actually the exact same lineups for both teams. So no excuses here. It's all about who is the better team.
It's all about skill. It's going to be skill, coordination, communication, and decision making, which sort of strategy they're going to go for. It would be funny to see them going for the same strategies being a mirror team. So let's see how things are going to go.
So once again, a reminder, in the purple, you have Team Shrimple. I definitely know that Mint Mori themselves is very excited about this particular team. Bugbix, of course, with the experience in the Mint Mori series. And actually worth reminding folks, as we see the Xatu go down, a bit of a change on top path. What used to be Natu is now Bunnelby, and that really it's just the one Bunnelby, but it does mean that there's actually more Eos energy loaded onto that top path through. So instead of the Natu, I should say, that's 3 energy combined. You now have 5 energy combined, and so there might be a shift in priorities. It might not really change too much, but some early scores coming through, and right now it's Shrimple leading by 4 points, 14-10 as we exit the first minute.
And Mew is going to be dealing those snipes, getting the damage on Apple there. But Team Shrimple's Mew is also following up, coming from the central area. And they're gathering up here for the first clouds. And we'll see how this is going to be played out. They have 2 versus 2 as the Burst Arenas are out and about. Joining in now, Lunaso coming and taking a knockout here on the... Wait, did I say something wrong? Oh, yeah, on the Slowbro, yeah.
Yeah, all the meanwhile, I was taking a look at I Not Sorb, and sadly, they bought themselves a ticket to Whiffington Central because that Solar Beam missed every single one of the Pokemon. And that's not great when that Solar Beam can usually hoover up, at the very least, all of the Swablu. Going to take a little bit more to take down the Altaria, even in the later levels. But it's actually it was an early experience gain for Team Shrimple, but Moonjumper's come in here and really started to rule the roost. Apple forced all the way back as more points go down on this first tier zone. The Solar Beam comes out. It's another whiff as Apple gets around it, but Apple, I think, is going to go down. Yes, they are. The final little poke of Water Blast there from Schmeckle on the Slowbro, and we do love a bit of Schmeckle Slowbro as well. They are so annoying to take down. It just seems that they have an infinite vat of health to utilize, but they're going to want some more help from I Not Sorb. That is the 3rd consecutive Solar Beam that they've missed. Meanwhile, Illusional taking down Moonjumper down below half health, but Moonjumper getting the KO and getting the 10 score.
And this fight on the top path seems to be lasting so long. I Not Sorb trying to get the Serena Lunasaur going on top of them, getting the knockout so easily. Might even get Schmeckle, but as you said, they can heal up for days, and they're probably going to try to retreat. But Serena Moonjumper is joining as well, as actually we have now all people here. We only have the Blissey on the bottom path.
Yeah, that feels like a bit of an oversight for Bugbix as wow. We talk about Schmeckle having an infinite vat of health. Almost used all of it. Down goes Sorb. Lunasoul gonna follow them. Apple, just about getting away with it with the energy transfer. Moonjumper going in for the KO. Moonjumper with a stomp is able to get that KO. A streak of 2 as the Mystical Mirage comes out for Mew. Schmeckle right in the center of that. I'm not surprised they went down so quickly as Team Shrimple looking to grab this Regieleki, not prioritizing it for the moment was their Mew. Delusional rather going for the Bunnelby. This has allowed a Cypher to rotate back up now on the Blissey as the Queen Ascendancy from Moonjumper takes up the enemy Slowbro, the Santa Loon, and that Solar Beam from Sorb does finally make its mark. But unfortunately, with the shielding on that zone, not going to do much overall damage. 6 minutes left, and they're still vying over who's going to get the Regieleki.
Yeah, and they're fighting once again here. It's Sorb trying to get the Solar Beam on everybody. Managed to get 3 people. Enemy Mew doing the same. But it's Serena that's going really deep here. Lunasoul trying to get on top of 3 people on the side of Bugbix. But the snipes coming from both sides are a little bit too much, and Team Shrimple seems to be looking to retreat here, going back to their base, being taken down, KO streak to Mr. Mime. They're taking the goal so close to finishing this off.
Wow.
The goal is gone. Apple is trying to get on top of them too. Serena goes down, and it's Bugbix taking the goal, and most likely this first Regieleki as well.
And that was so impressive. The combo wombo play coming out from Cypher And from iFortunes, the Blissey Unite move stacked on top of the Showstopper with that many knockups, with that many stuns, it is no wonder that they were able to push Team Shrimple back and get that first tier zone without the assistance of Regieleki. Now Regieleki here to try and assist a push, but that push is going to be cancelled out. Team Shrimple with an overcommit on top path is going to allow iFortunes to score 40 on bottom path. No tier 1 zone going down, but we should really take a look here because Zillusional on the Mew has switched down to bottom path, looking to focus on the Regirock, but that is not a lot of health that's been knocked off here. Finally going to get some reinforcements, but might be a little bit too late because iFortunes is going for the KO. Zillusional doesn't have a lot of health. They have to activate the Mystical Mirage to stay in the game for now. The Solar Beam down to 50%, but here comes the Showstopper from iFortunes now, able to try and just buy some more time for himself, and here comes the Bugbix reinforcements. Bugbix playing this beautifully. Team Shrimple seem to be just 2 steps behind at every single juncture. iFortunes, how are you still up? I don't get it. Wow, and able to run away. Incredible scenes here as Bugbix have rotated beautifully.
All they have, but Serena's trying to go into and zone out Bugbix here while they're trying to rotate for this Regirock. But it's a lot of things happening at the same time. The Solar Beam hits Serena and 3 more people, knocking them out. It's Mr. Mime for Mr. Mime, and Bugbix is pushing Team Shrimple back to the goal zone once again. Schmeckle's so close to being knocked out. It's Serena Solar Soul coming in, gets the slow bro, ulties on the Mew, trying to go for Blissey as well. The backup is coming, but it's 4v2.
Wow!
And it's Team Shrimple coming with the turnaround, taking this goal here, a 38 over dunk, and directing themselves for the Regirock. And Bugbix is coming right up for the next Regieleki relic.
It's almost like that meme, you know, where Andy in Toy Story is dropping Woody because he's got Buzz Lightyear. This is now very much the situation with Bugbix, where they're like, yeah, we won that team fight. Oh, sorry. No, actually, no. Never mind me. Team Shrimple won the team fight. I don't know what I'm talking about. They got Regirock, all thanks to Luna Soul, who's got the KO streak of 4. Colors are hard, people. But Bugbix is, of course, now fully reprioritizing here. They know that Regieleki is going to help them a lot, especially with that second tier push. Regirock, of course, with the defense and special defense buff for the entire team. Going to be good for Team Shrimple as Apple is hunting for iFortunes. It is going to be Bugbix with the Regieleki, but once again, Lunasol coming in. It's kind of a battle between the triple axle and the stomp, of course. Bugbix is Serena going with the stomp, but that triple axle gives you so much recovery along with the grassy slide. Down goes Lunasol, however. It's going to be a good 20-second wait before they're back in the game, but Team Shrimple has rotated up from nabbing the Regirock themselves.
Oh, look at that! It's gonna arrive! Has it? Did it arrive?
No, whoa, that's
so close.
That's
Apple
timing.
defending this goal here. That was so close. I think half a second off. That would have been Regieleki dropping on that goal. And so we had a lot of things happening here. We had the push on Regieleki up. We had the 2 Mr. Mimes facing each other in the central area. And now everybody is rotating here, coming back to a more full team formation as they try to fight themselves amongst the bushes. The iFortunes coming in with the ulti. The Unite move from both of the Mr. Mimes is on. Sorb taking the Solar Beam on 3 people. Team Shrimple is coming down, but they're not falling just yet. Well, never mind. They kind of are. And it is a 4 people knockout for Bugbix.
They don't even have to wait for the Rayquaza because they've got a 350 on that bottom tier 1 zone. And that's opened up the lead to 257 to 132. Still not unassailable, but so much team battling has ensued between these 2 titans of the Mori Cup. A lot of time has just evaporated. We're already down to the final 30 seconds of the game. So if Team Shrimple want to score, they got to score now. I'm looking at that rather tasty-looking top path first zone to try and get something, but Team Shrimple are prioritizing the KOs. It's going to be A
It's just a
paltry
14.
14. Whilst meanwhile, on bottom
Wow.
pass, Moonjumper
Oh!
not able to get the 100 off. What a stomp there by Santaloon. Lunasol trying to get something on this bottom path as well. No Rayquaza taken down wasn't necessary. Bug Bix did all of the work and all of the talking in their team fights.
That was the first, well, we just covered one game today, but this is the first moment where we've seen a Rayquaza not being taken down. So that's one of the things we've been mentioning when we started the tournament here today. How much more can be done in regards to achieving a victory in the Theosky runes? There's so much more XP to be found in wild Pokemon. You have Rayquaza, Regieleki, that allow people to come back with huge points and guaranteeing themselves a big old lead. It's just so much that can happen in different ways. And that's what we saw. No Rayquaza, sneaky split pushes. That Serena Moonjumper was so close to getting another 100. They were already on the lead, but it would have been even more. And unfortunately, we saw that Mew trying to score a little bit on the top path, the juicy one that was empty that you mentioned. Unfortunately, they just had 7 energy that totaled out to 14 points. So it is so much that can be done in regards to rotation and prioritizing strategies in the Theosky's rune.
Let's talk Lunasol, shall we? Because she's pretty good. With a 4 KO streak at one point, all not exactly all on her lonesome, but definitely leading from the front. The problem seemed to be that when it came to those team fights, and I don't know whether this was down to itemization or whether it was just down to actual placement. Maybe you can give me some insights on this, but it just felt like their health bars went down a lot quicker than those of Bugbix. We know that there was already a great combination between Cypher and iFortunes with the Unite moves, really just making it impossible to be able to fight when that first tier 1 zone went down. But considering that Sorb didn't exactly have the most prolific of games, a lot of whiffs early game as well when XP was at a premium, they did super well to just not even just stay in there, but find success as the longer the fight went on. So maybe you have some further insight into that, or is it difficult to nail it down to one factor?
Well, I believe you got the nail on the head. I think it was positioning coming from Lunasol. We love a good agreement. So yes, I believe it was down to positioning coming from Lunasol. They really had that big ol' advantage, as you mentioned. They were getting KOs on top of KOs. That there was a lot of damage being input in very short time. So the problem was, I felt that Lunasol was going in a little too deep at one point, a couple of points actually. Maybe it was lack of communication, and they thought they needed to go in further than they needed to, and the team was left a little bit behind. But also a couple of times I felt like it was a mispositioning coming from the other team members that were caught out of position, and Lunasol was trying to help them. So they ended up falling alongside their teammates. So I believe that unfortunately when those things happened, like Delusional sometimes getting caught off, and when you see a Mew out of position, maybe you just have the instinct of going in, trying to help. You're more bulky, you have more mobility and CCs and damage, of course. So maybe that was what was making things a little more difficult, because at the time the rest of the team coming from the purple side would arrive. They would be already out 2 players.
Yeah.
So as you said, we had Sorb being able to maintain themselves in a very, very distant position and securing those solar beams, securing the big damage from afar as Mew does. So I believe that was the sort of structure and dynamic that occurred between these two teams that maybe did not allow for Soul to Lunaso, yes, to actually input all that advantage that was growing in the early game and ended up falling behind in the late game.
I think it's a fantastic spotlight that you shine there, because when you consider the opposition Serena with Moonjumper, there wasn't really many moments where I thought, wow, they are really sticking their neck out of the team conglomerate here. You know, they were always very much with the rest of their team. And that's kind of the advantage that you get with Stomp, is you've got a great AoE heavy damage dealing effect. And with Grassy Glide, of course, it's the standard across most Serena sets. But it doesn't just get you that recovery, but it also gives you a slow path behind you as well, which is useful just to back out of team fights whilst also hindering the opposition. Whereas with Lunasol, you're absolutely right. As many KOs as she ended up getting, she also went down in crucial moments when they really could have done with the Serena to get some more damage output. So we're into game number 2. We're into the picks, and it feels like Team Shrimple is happy enough with the composition. You know, maybe thinking along the same lines as us, where it was just in the heat of the moment, not playing the macro game effectively as well as they could have done. With Bugbix, no reason to change. They've come off a pretty, I wouldn't say comfortable, but a pretty convincing first game. And so that, of course, means that we are once again seeing both rosters field exactly the same 5 Pokemon each. I just hope for Team Shrimple's case that they're able to change it up a little bit to go a little bit more toe-to-toe in these team fights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as you said, it is one thing that kind of was missing from Team Shrimple. It was that micro element where the positioning in the team fights, the dodging, the going in, knowing when to engage and try to take down somebody, or going in to try to prevent a teammate from getting knocked out, was not the best of options. But we're going to dive in here. Once again, a mirror situation. Both teams, the same comp. Bugbix on the purple side, Team Shrimple on the orange. And we'll have probably yes, it's going to be Mew in the central area for Team Shrimple again, and Serena in the central area for Bugbix.
That's worrying, I think, for Team Shrimple, knowing that Serena is going to be getting to that Serena stage, to that Serena Revolution earlier on. As on bottom path here already, we got Chunky Milk here on the Blissey. We didn't really talk. I feel like with that name, we would have remembered talking about Chunky Milk. But we didn't, and that's possibly a great compliment, I would say, to Bugbix for being able to not. Oh my god! Forget what I'm saying. Lunasol almost paid for it again, sticking their neck out. Got to be a little bit more careful, perhaps.
Yeah, I feel like Bugbix were more careful. I think you said they felt a little more comfortable. I think we can say that. I think they felt a little more comfortable. We're coming here to Altaria time. iFortunes is actually left alone against Blissey and Slowbro. They're not going to get anything there, so unfortunately it was a whiff coming from Bugbix. That XP is very necessary in the both side lanes, so we'll see how these two are going to be able to get an advantage on top of that, maybe scoring more. But now they decided to go for a big old fight, and they deal half their HP in damage. And coming up to top path, what do we see here, Relic?
We see a 3-on-2, kind of dissipating out to a 2-on-2 as Schmeckle's looking for that stack. They're going to be able to get it just about. I get the feeling that they might go down, but there, once again, the potion adding to the infinite health pool of Schmeckle. I was going to say, I can't remember whether Santaloon went for the Scold or the Surf build, but I think they went for the Scold, and so Surf build, of course, much better for CC overall, and certainly doing the business on bottom path. as Bugbix continues to move forward. The early scores as we approach 7.5 minutes to go, 15-20 as the two Slowbros find themselves fighting over an Altaria. It's going to be Schmeckel still on that Skull build as Lunasol goes in. Down goes the Mew. I think Schmeckel might find themselves in a bit of bother here. Apple joins the party with his energy transfer. It's a Serena on Serena battle. Moonjumper forced to run away, and they're quite fortunate that they did. Delusional combining forces with 3 of his teammates to finally take down Schmeckel. And is this going to be the first tier zone gone? Yes, it is. Beautiful play.
Oh, and Lunasol remains alive. There we have it. They're up and running. We thought they were going to go down on that big fight, but nothing of the sorts happened. It was just Bugbix ended up being knocked out. They're very close here to taking the Regieleki, and they do. Mew guarantees the Regieleki first of the game as they are deciding if they're going to push. They're going forward, disengage here, just taking the objective, not over-committing on this top pass. But I have to say, while we saw shining in the first game from Team Shrimple and Lunasol, we are seeing once again, but the difference is I felt like the team was more cohesive. They were going together, and it felt like they were more solid coming in those team fights, helping Lunasol instead of feeling like somebody needed Lunasol's help.
Chunky Milk gets a free 30 as we do draw attention slightly to the bottom Reggie as Lunasol has got Schmeckel all to themselves, and they've decided to disengage as they can see that the situation on bottom path is getting a little bit hairy. You can see there Reggie Steel is the bottom Reggie on this first wave. Of course, a reminder, if you are new to the Thea Sky Ruins, attack and special attack buff, so would be a very useful pickup, especially as we await the next Regieleki. Team Shrimple has fully rotated down. Meanwhile, Bugbix is kind of at odds and ends. They've been sent to different parts of the store, but they still haven't found what they want to buy. Nice damage comes through on Itzorb. Fires a solar beam away. Here comes Moonjumper, ready to join the battle. Lunasol onto the zone. Moonjumper forced back, and everyone is now on this bottom path. Here comes the Surf. Not a lot of damage done. Santaloon in trouble here, down to 40%. Here's the Showstopper. There's the Queen Ascendancy. Bugbix roaring back into life. The solar beam not able to take down Santaloon. Santaloon's still up. How on earth are you up? They are going to pick up the Citrus Berry as well, but Bugbix has definitely bought their team time as another solar beam KO comes through on iFortunes.
Yeah, I found it interesting because I thought Lunasol was in such a good position to engage into that fight. There were 4 people stacked and they waited a little too much. Maybe they were a little too careful. Serena takes down the Slowbro. The Moonjumper, Bugbix's Serena, also in a bad position there, trying to get close to this Reggie Steel. The solar beams trying to reach a good position to snipe, and Team Shrimple guarantees it. Mr. Mime going with the Unite move straight on enemy's Mew, who also has to activate theirs. It's Mirage on top of Mirage. And Team Shrimple is pushing as much as they can here on this bottom path. Goal is going to be destroyed. And Team Shrimple actually, from a lost fight on this bottom path, they converted into a good defense of their goal into another fight win and taking the objective and the goal. So amazing job from Team Shrimple there.
Stuck between a bit of a rock and a hard place when it came to decisions there, Bugbix, because Team Shrimple were committing, and they were committing hard on bottom path, ultimately prioritizing just getting that first tier zone as opposed to scoring the most from the first tier zone. And they didn't really focus on Regieleki either. You can see they got that top zone down to 4, but once again Bugbix entering a team fight, and boy have the turns been tabled because Team Shrimple are pushing them back again and again. Lunasol with the grassy slide doing so much great CC here as Delusional finds, sorry I should say it's not Sorb, finding themselves taken out of the picture. Let's see, Mr. Mime, Serena, and Slowbro up, but Team Shrimple have got the area on lockdown. The Mr. Mime energy transfer, oh my goodness, melting Shrekkel. And that is a Regieleki well earned for Team Shrimple, who hold a 69-point lead.
Yeah, we have to highlight how well they played this fight once again. So we had the team, I think the main carries, we had Serena and Mew dealing the damage on Regieleki, while Slowbro and Blissey was zoning them out, taking them out of the area, putting them on quarantine, as you said, and guaranteeing safety to secure that objective. Bugbix is going to take that top pass goal. Most likely, there's nobody there to defend. I don't know if they have enough points. They do. It is down. And 30 seconds for Rayquaza already. And Team Shrimple is trying to knock out Reggie still before Rayquaza actually spawns.
Oh, this is a little bit worrisome here. Chunky Milk was going to go back to base, clearly called off that, and that's going to cost them big time because Bugbix is now with Registeel for Rayquaza. Not only that, but they have the advantage. They're pushing Team Shrimple back. This could be one of the biggest misplays of the entire tournament. Santaloon forced into the Unite move, and it's not going to do much good. That's 74 points, a double point score, but it's not Sorb. Bugbix take the lead. Apple forced into the Unite move as well. It's all falling apart at the seams as Illusional goes down.
We have only 3 people up and running for Team Shrimple, and they're trying to get to the central area, but they cannot. Once again, Slowbro and Blissey are guaranteeing that they're off the zone. iFortune's 1v1ing Lunasoul, getting the backup from MF Cypher. 3 people coming as well, 4 people, 5 people. They don't even need the Rayquaza. They're putting the pressure here on top pass, and they're taking people down, having Mew deal the damage from afar. They're probably going to recollect here once again around central area, but kudos for such a good positioning from all of them. And iFortune's maintaining such an aggressive pressure on these goals. They managed to prevent the 100 goal here on this bottom pass, but they know they are still down in points. They're collapsing a Schmeckle.
Oh, no. How? What? Words escape me as to Schmeckle. How on earth does this guy have so much health? Oh, keep an eye on Team Shrimple, though. Keep an eye on Santaloon. That's a 40-point doubling up to 80-point dunk. Oh, and they're going to get it. They've dropped the ball. Oh, Bugbix. They've dropped the ball big time. They were so aggressive. They've got the points lead. It's only 10. It's now the push. But look at iFortunes. iFortunes. Will they get the 50? But now there's Santaloon. Oh, you are the clutchest of slow bros. Team. Wait, that's 24? No way.
No way. They did it. No way.
Oh.
No way.
Oh my word. Well, I tell you what, Bugbix, they had the basket, they were on their way home, they tripped, and all of the contents fell out, apart from Santaloon and Cypher. Those two have just won you that series on their own. Incredible play. No, Santaloon, they're on opposite teams. Santaloon almost won it. They almost won it for Team Shrimple. But Cypher, that, my friends, that is the advantage of not hoovering up every bit of EOS energy on the field, because Cypher had so little energy to work with that all they had to do was score it, whilst iFortunes was keeping Santaloon under pressure. And make no mistake about it, iFortunes was absolutely the MVP of this game. I don't know whether you had a cursory look at the levels at all, folks. Miles away from everyone else. They were level 14 when everyone else was 12 and 11. They were a super nuisance, not able to score their 50. But they were able to stall enough for that final 24 to go down from Cypher. Wow, what a finish. And keep in mind, look at Lunasoul. Once again, 100,000 damage coming out from that Serena. All for naught.
Can we just get... Okay, so let's talk about the defense real quick. Wow, 93,000 damage taken by Schmeckle. We really have the foundation of that team alongside Cypher with 80,000 recovery They really were the tankies, the front lines of bug picks. But can we really quick just come back to cast the camera? I just need to just this while you were talking.
Like,
I was literally just like this.
I like it was a clutch upon a clutch, Soph. It's not often you see that. You look at Santaloon and you're like, he slipped through the defenses.
Yeah.
You got the 80 points. You've taken the lead. There's 15 seconds left. What can they do? Cypher's what can do.
So let's
Cypher and iFortunes.
Yes. Let's do a quick recap. Bugpix was winning.
Yes.
80 points coming from Serena on top path.
Yes.
Gets Team Shrimple on the lead. Third thing, as you said, Blissey and Slowbro, bottom path, scoring a right. No, Mr. Mime, yes.
Mr. Mime,
Mr. Mime,
yeah.
yes. Blissey and Mr. Mime on bottom path. Cypher and iFortunes, 24. As you said, a 24 means just a 12 energy loadout. Okay?
Yeah.
So 12 gets scored like this. Especially being a thick girl like Blissey. So you got that Pokemon coming in the very last 2 seconds or so, taking the difference, I don't know, 2, 3, 10 points more for Bugpix and guaranteeing the win in the best 3. Like, how?
It was
I come back to my original position.
Yeah, I mean, actually, no, it was 24 scored, so it meant that they won by 14 points. But even still, they only won by 14 points. They only won because iFortunes was able to stall long enough. Unfortunate to Santaloon and the team of Team Shrimple who fall here. I think rather unfortunate to fall 2-0. I would have loved to have seen a game 3. Based on how much time has elapsed, that might very well be what Dawnshard and the underdogs of today, the surprise package, Flightless Crows, find themselves in, because we do not have a score report for that yet. We cannot give you a score update. And so whilst we wait for that, whilst we wait for our grand finals, the final series itself in the Mint Mori series, we're going to take you to a quick break. So get up, hydrate, stretch your legs, and be back here in a few minutes. We'll see you then.
Been trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more?
fast while I'm thinking in my head. I mind my own, I don't even break a sweat. Oh, this madness is insane. Why you still live in vain? I'm not the one, you're the victim of your own mistakes. It's time to hit the lights under the street lights, under the street lights. I'm not the one, you're the victim of your own mistakes. Untold stories, they were left behind. Silent breeze, I got nothing on my mind. This madness is insane. Why you still live in vain? I'm not the one, you're the victim of your own mistakes. It's time to hit the lights under the street lights, under the street lights. I'm not the one, you're the victim of your own mistakes. You're the victim of your own mistakes.
And so we arrive at the end of the Mint Mori Cup, of the Mori tourney, and indeed the broadcast. We've got one more series left to go. It's the grand final. I'm Relic. She is Soph, the lovely Digital Breakin on production. And so we saw Bugbix come out the victors in their semi-final match up against Team Shrimple. A clutch upon clutch play to secure that 2-0 sweep. But now they face most likely the toughest opponents that they will have ever faced based on their recent form. Flightless Crows are cruising through the bracket. They took down Dark Aura 2-1. They took down Haunter X Haunter 2-0. They took down Dawn Shard 2-0. They are truly a thrilling force that we have yet to see. And although based on that form, we might very well see a 2-0 here in the final, I'm excited to see what their 2-0s are all about.
Oh, absolutely, Relic. And we have to point out that it's no ordinary opponents that Flightless Crows have faced. Dark Aura, Haunter X Haunter have been winners of the previous two Min Mori Cups. And Dawnshard was the runner-up for the last one for Mathcord. So basically, they've beaten down everybody that was on the lead, that was on the podium. So as you say, maybe we're even going to see a 2-0 sweep against Bugbix as well. Because these guys, and they're new. We hadn't seen them before. This is the first time we've seen them in the Unite Battle Hub channel, and they are rocking it.
Rocking it seems to be an understatement, because Dark Aura were pretty good in the Math Chord Cup, and they destroyed Dawn Shard 2-0. It's why when I saw that their third opponents on the day were going to be Dawn Shard, I'm like, oh, this isn't good. This, as good as we know Dawn Shard is, that's really not good when you've beaten the people that beat them last week. Given Dark Aura took them to game 3. So it was a close match. And we, of course, haven't seen the ins and outs of how close those 2-0 sweeps were with Haunter x Haunter and with Daunt Shard. But Bugbix, either way, is going to be looking at this. They've come off the back of their own 2-0 sweeps. So they are in good form themselves. But they're surely going to be looking at this and thinking, we're going to have to play to our absolute best, because based on the pure level of competition that Flightless Crows had to get here with, they are surely the favorites to win the Mori tourney.
Yes, they are. And well, Relic, I believe, since we're waiting for things to be confirmed, Carby loads. That's ADHD in a nutshell, you guys.
I don't even know what word you said.
Lobby codes. Carby loads.
Cobby loads.
Yes, the lobby codes.
The British influence is rubbing off on you, because like we like to make up words. Dyslexia. I can't even say the words. Never mind. Hey, you know what I can tell you about is the fact that in October, hey, my birthday month, super exciting. Also super exciting for you at home is that the Battle Hub name returns, but as the overarching theme rather than the tournament. Welcome to the Regional Opens, a new era for the Pokemon Unite subreddit. We begin with the October Open. 3 regions we have covered before: APAC, EMEA, NA. That's the 4th, 11th, and 18th of October. And for the first time ever, LATAM enters the equation with the 25th of October. This is going to be a weekly tournament for as long as we can hold weekly tournaments. There should be a November Open. There might be a December Open. There's a little thing called Christmas around that time. We'll have to see how that pans out. But basically, we want to give you guys the competitive experience in Pokemon Unite. We want you to experience what the top guys experience. The more we grow, the more you get better. Hopefully, the more that the Open Series can become a staple of the Unite scene. It's super exciting. We can't wait to see you for it. Remember to head on to the Pokemon Unite subreddit Discord. Plenty of announcements, plenty of pings that will remind you when the sign-up links go live. Be sure to follow all the rules and everything will be okay. And maybe, just maybe, we will be casting you in 2 weeks to a month's time. But that is 2 weeks to a month's time, Sophan. Right here and now, we have a grand final to decide. Flightless Crows. I know that Krabs was posting. Of course, Krabs, one of our lovely moderators. Shout out to you and to Progenera, of course. Fantastic head moderators here at the Unite Battle Hub production team. We kind of had like this funny moment where we're like, is this Shining Crowbats? Is this a funny name? Are they just like, is this
in
revenge?
disguise?
It's not, because it's a different team. But they look like such a force. And to be fair, it's almost like they've been the shadow in the background. They've been claiming all of these massive wins in the background, and now all of a sudden we get to see them in the flesh.
Yeah, I mean, they're crows. Crows are not supposed to be just out in the open. They're supposed to be, hunting for the things in the dark and just getting the prey without nobody looking. So that's what we have here. We have the team that has appeared for the first time in our channel, taking down so many good opponents, and well, we haven't casted them today yet, so this is going to be the first time we're going to see them in action. So it's going to be all that we can expect from high competitive players, as they seem to be. And we are, yes. I'm sorry, really.
I was going to say, like, we can talk a bit about team composition as well, because that's one thing that we do know about Bugbix is we have a Slowbro, we have a Blissey. We have a Mr. Mime. We have no sign of the Hooper. We did see Hooper earlier with Dawn Shard, of course, but they are the only team that we have seen on broadcast who has picked up Hooper. Of course, a reminder of the 9 Pokemon that you can pick. It's all about the pink. We've seen an Espeon. We've seen a Sylveon as well, but it's very much as expected. Mew, Mr. Mime, and Slowbro with some Serenas dominating the field. Do you think that we will see Espeon or Sylveon again, maybe as alternate picks, maybe looking at the Hooper as well? Or do we think by this stage of the competition, you've really got to go with what everyone is going with at the time to ensure your maximum competitiveness?
I believe Bug Picks might go for a different strategy. They have access to the bracket. They know how Flightless grows, have been performing. So I believe maybe they're going to change something about how they play, something about the comp. So maybe the picks will be slightly different or absolutely different. Who knows? And in regards to Flightless grows, well, I have no clue. They might be the best evolution players in the field. So we might see Sylveon and Espeon. Who knows? So I believe that the probability will be that we'll see Mr. Mime, at least in both of them. At least, well, it is going to be in both of them. And maybe we'll not see Mew in one of the teams. I think it's debatable. As I said, maybe it depends on the evolutions, if they are super played and a comfy pick for the players in Flightless Grow's team. So, well, we'll see.
To be fair, Mew, though, is short. I mean, look, you're looking at the Mr. Mime buff, even with this little mini nerf, way too strong to drop for my money. If you don't have a team with Mr. Mime, you better hope that you got long range to counter it. And with the restrictions of the Mori Cup, Mew's the only real long range threat that you've got as a direct counter. There's no Decidueye, there's no heavy hitting attackers, there's no Venusaur with its solar beam, so you're kind of struggling on that front. And Mew has just got so much utility as an attacker. If you use Mew correctly, you're literally just rotating through the different flavors of loadout that you can go for, and you're able to do so much, whether you're coaching, whether you've got agility on, whether you've got that light screen to set up Electro Ball, Surf, Solar Beam, so many options and so useful for all facets of play, whether you're going for wild Pokemon, XP farming, whether you're looking at massive damage into a crowded area, whether you're looking for crowd control, when you're looking to push onto a zone, whether you're looking for those individual picks on something like Cinderace, for example, where Slippery Customer get an Electro Ball out and you've got an auto lock system effectively. It's undroppable in the right hands. Big emphasis on the right hands, because Mew in not great hands is still decent, but certainly can't live up to the potential that others can bring from it. Gotta say, big shout out to the Flightless Crows who have entered our Twitch chat and are super happy to make it on stream. We're sorry we didn't cover you in your fantastic run earlier, but such is the way that things happen here on Battle Hub Productions. We do like to make sure that as much content is getting to you as quick as possible, so we like to select the first games that are available. And unfortunately, you took a bit too long in your first one, so that's on you for not beating Dark Aura, the previous winners in the Mori series 2-0. So that's a shame on you. And to be fair, I don't want to die out any more shame, but we are waiting for one of your players. Flightless Crows. We're waiting on one of you. So if you'd please make your way to the lobby, that'd be great, because then we can start the series.
Okay, so we might have had a disconnect problem on the side of this missing player, so we're just going to wait a little bit. We can venture around talking about how glad we are with the growth of the Unite Battle Hub. We've now decided to go for the weekly series. It's open, starting in October open. So I think finishing off this Mid-Mori tournament here and going into all the new things that we're going to have coming forward, there's just so much room to grow from ourselves, from the players, everybody in the community, just having a good time, watching some esports in some sort of competitive feel. So I'm so excited to keep on going.
Right. Ginkgo's in, folks. So we're about to get underway. Skybreaker, I don't know. It's sort of like trust my sources, bro. Trust my sources. Apparently, Ginkgo is top 8 for Cinderaces in the world. Speaking of Cinderace, shame he doesn't have Cinderace, honestly. That's a shame that he doesn't have it, but I'm sure that does mean that overall, very good player as we head on into the pick phase. We've got Bugbix in the orange and Flightless Crows in the purple. Not a surprise to see Bugbix going with their previous roster. Really successful. You're looking at Schmeckle, you're looking at Cypher Fortunes and Moonjumper. I Not Sorb on his day really can turn the tables. Just a great roster all round. What are we going to see from Flightless Crows? We've got a Blissey locked in. Twist looks to be settling on a muscle band, assault vest, Mr. Mime. That's certainly a way to go. Dopa,
And Specs.
and Specs. Dopa on the attack weight, Serena, assault vest as well. More of that coming out. We got a Mew, and looks like Ginkgo is heading onto a Sylveon. So no third tank for Flightless Crows. They're prioritizing damage.
Yes, they are. And we have here, as you said, the orange team going for the same comp. Bugbix had an amazing run with this, so they're confident on it, they're comfortable, and that's how they're going to play this off. Of course, this is the first time they're playing against Flightless Crows, so they'll have a little taste of how this team has been performing and how they get their success, and they can adapt to fight them and guarantee a win. Let's see how these two teams are going to show right here on the broadcast grand finals of the Mori Cup.
Now that's really smart. I just saw there Mew tailing off to basically help Ginkgo pick up that immediate Xatu, and we have ourselves. We've not seen this since the Greedent days. We saw it a couple of times in the Pokemon Battle Towers over on Rust
There it
GG.
is.
We have an invader. And it's Mr. Mime. The cook is in the kitchen, and the recipe is for success. Mr. Mime is scary, especially when you're going up against a Serena that is not fully... It's a double invade!
Look at that.
Oh my goodness! What is this strategy? I love it!
Yeah, me too. I believe maybe Flightless Crows were paying attention to how much Moonjumper was having of success in the previous games, and they decided to deny them of any XP. And right here on the bottom, we have Sharkcat trying to deal as much damage as they can. It's so close. The shield from the goal is enough to protect Blissey, who's still a Chansey, not a Blissey, and not nothing anymore. As they're back to base and have to respawn. Serena is coming to help, but Flightless Crows are really showing a really interesting perspective here.
I'm starting to see why Flightless Crows are really good, and Schmeckle's been left all on their lonesome up here. There is not much you can do at this early level with your Slowbro except Scald, maybe look for a bit of chip damage, but that's difficult when you've got a central area-based Ginkgo on the Sylveon with that Calm Mind Hyper Voice, and that's a lovely light screen coming out from It's Not Sorb to just protect the Schmeckle. It's a Solar Beam that comes out, not much damage on that front, unfortunately, as it was a fleeting moment where we thought that there might be a team fight on the bottom path, but it's a full disengage, and you've got to feel bad for Moonjumper here. So influential in those team fights, already well behind the curve, done well to actually catch up to be level 5 at this stage.
Look at the rotation coming from Flightless Crows, trying to go, securing the area around Altaria and getting a knockout there, pressuring the top boss, taking down I Not Sorb, maybe?
Oh,
yes, they do. Schmeckle comes around, but it's not enough. And the goal is almost done. But I also want... Oh my god, they're really relentless. They are not flightless. They're flying in for the prey. And they're going for nothing less than the victory.
Twist is one of those players which you truly hate to come up against. Not going down, so much energy recovery, and in combination, like this is the perfect combination. You've got your central area player, you've got your main support, and you've got your tank all in one place, all able. It's almost like the perfect circle. It's the perfect circle. Just, hey, heal, energy boost, attack. heal, energy boost, attack. I promise you, folks, I'm doing a circle on the camera. And now we got Regieleki. We do have a rotation coming through from Bugbix. They're not going to be able to steal it through Schmeckel, and this might come back to bite them. Schmeckel! We talk about that infinite health pool. Nothing is helping them. Oh my word! It's a raging torrent of a storm, and it's really going well. Oh my goodness me, Regieleki is surely going to hit this zone. What on earth are the Flightless Crows, and how do I get their numbers?
How do I get the numbers? We really need these guys to come in all the tournaments because the competition, the level is going to be raising that bar. Look at the pressure here. Regieleki has not even worn off, and they're still in this bottom pass, taking down Pokemon after Pokemon. Ginkgo deals so much damage. Hyper Voice is not letting anybody survive, and they are not coming back. It's Ginkgo with 10 gubs there. They're going to be able to take down the bottom goal. Not even 5 minutes into this game. And they're going to dodge the Solar Beam, not going down, letting the enemy go down instead. Moonjumper trying to get on top of this Mew. Sharkhead survives, might even try to go for a snipe here. Twisted takes them down instead and guarantees a 2 KO streak.
And they've got themselves Regice, as if it couldn't get any worse. This is only comparable to those solo queue games where it just goes wrong from minute number 1. It's been going wrong for a solid 5 minutes now for Bugbix. Early success in regards to scoring, sure, but Twisted is the showmaster. Twisted is leading from the front, and everything goes through him. There is, you got to actually look to Bugbix at this point, the showstopper coming out. Just nonchalantly walking around on it. It's 1v3. He's holding 3 folks back. They're going to try and come in with the Regieleki steal. Ooh. No, because the Hyper Voice from Ginkgo is going to get the second Regieleki of this game. And there's more KOs to come. At this point, Bugbix, you got to look at them and just wonder, was it a bit of red mist? Was it a bit of desperation? They kept on feeding and feeding and feeding to a point where the lowest level for Flightless Crows is a level 9 Blissey. You look over to Bugbix and you've got Slowbro and Blissey, your 2 tankiest Pokemon alongside Mr. Mime, both on level 8. It's only Moonjumper who's been able to grab level 11, and she is not ahead of the Serena on the opposition team. Flightless Crows, I don't ever call Pokemon Unite games this early, but I think that they've taken game number 1.
I think they've taken game number 1, and maybe they're showing us why they have been doing and how they have been doing 2-0 sweeps this far. It is over 300 points. I can't. There are no goals except the base goal. They've taken out all of them. The pressure, it's relentless. The force coming from Flightless Crows. And as you said, the highlight from Twisted, definitely a showstopper there. And Mew taking down Bugbix's Mew is just... there is no room for anything. And I believe, as you said, from minute 1, Flightless Crows just shook Bugbix's mentality. The mental is... It's in shambles. They don't know how to proceed. They're trying to take down here. They're probably, maybe, let's see, so close. And they guarantee a 50 here. It's a little bit of a lead. I mean, of course, still very far behind, but the fight is still popping off.
And that's a very early Unite move used from Moonjumper, and they aren't even able to get the pick! Ooh, as BF Sage gets out of dodge. It's a little more respectable now. A 227-point lead for Flightless Crows. Not unassailable, but it's going to be a lot more difficult if that Regieleki goes their way. Is this team fight happening now? Why on earth are you split? iFortunes jumps in. I'm presuming that we have a Unite move. Yeah, we do, with the Blissey. That can be unleashed if necessary, and they're not going to get it because the showstopper comes out, not from Twisted. but from Bugbix, and it's a force showstopper because now they have to deal with not just the enemy
Oh
team,
my
of course,
God.
but the Regieleki. And look at Dopa. This is a Serena that we're talking about, 1v2ing a Blissey and a Mr. Mime. The level game has truly escaped Bugbix, and I feel like this split push may very well just be the cherry on top of this rather unfortunate cake that is their defeat in game one. That said, they have taken down, finally,
Look
not just the
at
Serena, but the
that.
Mew as
Wow.
well. Okay, so they do at least have something to work with, but meanwhile, Regieleki's made it to base goal, and they've scored a further 200 points. Rayquaza has been left to Bugbix, but are they going to be able to make sure that they at least claim it? In comes Mr. Mime. It's Twisted. It's 1v5.
Oh
Make that
my lord.
It's 5v2, sorry, because Ginkgo was hiding there. I didn't even spot them. And after all that work on the Rayquaza, Bugbix still not able to get it. Another 3 KO streak for Twist. This man is sadistic.
I believe all of the players in Flyless Pros, they are just playing so precisely. The communication between them has been truly flawless. Coming from Serena in the top path, gathering 3 people on top of them. Dopa managing to take down 3 people from defending the base goal from their Regieleki. It reaches the goal, 200 is scored. They manage to come back from that and steal the Rayquaza from Bugbix and score a further 200 or so? Like, what is happening? They might even take down Moonjumper here. It's going to be a kill. The shield has popped off. Dopa is trying to reach out.
Oh,
Maybe
no.
Tupper is going to kill them.
Oh.
And it's Mew with a boosted attack, guaranteeing the knockout on Serena. And Flyless Grows really showing how they shined all throughout this tournament, even though it was definitely in the shadows.
We have clutch performances. We have relatively comfortable leads. This is one of those victories where all I can think of saying is, oh my Arceus, that was incredible. Flightless Crows, every single moment they were on it. So many of their team in double figures for assists. 2 of their players in double figures for KOs. They were only behind for 1 moment, and that was in the first 2 minutes. Ridiculous twist. I mean, just twist. Over 110,000 damage. Not just for him, but for Ginkgo as well. That is ridiculous. And I feel bad for Bugbix that they have to play another game against these guys, because wowzers, they are on another planet.
Yeah, I would be scared. I would be really scared, because the performance coming from Flyless Crows was absolutely devastating. As you said, 110,000 damage from Twisted and Ginkgo. They really nailed the job of damage dealers on Flyless Crows team. And coming from Dopa, the ability to really gather people around them and just make them not participate in the main fight, defending against Regielekis or whatnot, it's just everything, every step of the way. Flyless Crows really pulled it off in even though aggressive in such a gracious manner, because it was just one thing on top of the other. Okay, we got this, and then we got that, and then we got that, and well, it's done. We got it.
There was an effortlessness to
Exactly.
it, which is honestly the most scariest part at all of all. You can tell that these 5 know each other super well. They know each other's play styles to a T. And keep in mind, this is with a restricted roster to choose from. So this likely isn't even their final form, right? This is something that they've had to cobble together, but it looks so clean, the final end product, that it's no surprise that they've made it to this stage. Easily one of the most complete performances in a game that we've seen throughout the Mint Mori series. And now if you're Bugbix, well, the question is, how on earth do you counter that? And for me, Sophie, it has to start with the central area. You've got to make sure the Twist doesn't do what they did in that first minute, and that was hoover up the red and the blue buffs from the Exceligor and the it's Exceligor and something Escalvia or something. One of those two, and it's the buffs. Don't let them have the buffs, right?
Yes,
Don't let 'em have
exactly.
it.
I am so on board with you, Relic. It really came down to the first second twist that appeared on that central area. Enemy central area were like, what are you doing here? This is not Greedent. At this time of day,
does not seem like the others.
yes, exactly. At this time of day, you're coming here, really? And then they steal it and they go like, oh, okay. They might be onto something. Serena comes in too. And it's suddenly a 2v1 and all of the wild Pokemon from the orange side central area Bugbigs, they fall behind massively. Then we have, it was Serena, right? The central area Pokemon for Bugbigs. Yes.
Yes,
If I'm not mistaken, yes. So it was Serena. We had Chansey as well on the bottom path. They were level 3 for the longest time. They couldn't even get the level 5 evolution. So it was just, as you said, coming from the very first second of that central area invade. And what do you think would be the possibility for Bugbigs to try to avoid that from happening? Should we bring 2 people to the central area beforehand? Should they think about a roster that has a Pokemon, maybe Hooper, for example, doesn't evolve, that can come into the central area and help? What do you think?
I think they should take a bit of a leaf out of the book from, who is it? Was it One World, I think, where they split their central area between 2 EVs at the time. But I don't think it should be 2 EVs that go into the central area. I think that you've got to fight fire with fire. The best way to stop a Mr. Mime from reaching your house is to meet him halfway. Send your Mr. Mime for the counter invade, because then you're asking your opponent for a choice. You either continue with your invasion strategy, or you engage that enemy Mr. Mime. So that's what I would do personally. If I was them, I'd look to remain with just the Serena in the central area, but send that Mr. Mime ahead of the curve just to try and counter that. Would I change the Pokemon roster? I'm not entirely sure. I think that was more down to game management from Bugbics, that it got really bad because they were just feeding and feeding and feeding on that top path when they should have just let it go and focused on, again, just fighting fire with fire. Just go for a full push on bottom path, because if you can't meet the odds one area, then focus on another. By the way, Twisted. Sorry, I was calling you Twist for short. If you want me to call you Twisted, I will absolutely call you Twisted. But we should be nearing our game number 2. Certainly, if you watched game number 1 with us, I think it's fair to say might very well be the final game. But we hope for Bugbix's sake, Bugbix's sake, that they are able to make this competitive, that they are able to take this to game number 3, but there has only been one team to take Flightless Crows to game number 3, and that was our winners from last
Masquad.
week. So,
yes.
pretty good team that needed to do that.
Pretty good. And we'll see if Bugbigs can play up to the task here, because I believe that the thing that shook them the most was going in, not knowing anything about this team, and the strategy really knocked them off since this very start. So let's see how they're going to do this next game, second game of the best of 2 grand finals of the Mori Cup. Flightless Crows on the orange side now, Bugbigs on the purple. And so far, what do we have here, Relic?
Exactly the same loadout for Flightless Crows. That's what we have, and it looks like we're staring at the same loadout for Bugbix. Schmeckel was considering a change, but really that's the one game where we've looked at Schmeckel and thought, man, they really didn't cope with the pressure, because when we think about Schmeckel, we think about just how much of a nuisance they are. They are so good at stalling plays and dealing damage, most importantly. With both the Scald and Surf builds available, we are going to stay with exactly the same 10 Pokemon heading out onto the Thea Sky Ruins for game number 2. Let's see your hype in chat. Remember, if this is your first time here, be sure to drop that follow. We've got plenty more action here on the Unite Battle Hub twitch.tv channel, such as, for example, the Open Series, and there might very well be a special announcement at the end of the stream. We also have a message from Mori coming up after this. Of course, the namesake of this tournament is all coming up after game number 2 and possibly game number 3. As we look at Bugbix, they are not going to go with the counter invade. They are going to stick to their guns and hope for the best here, as we see. There it is. There it is.
Oh, look at him go.
You can hear the jaws missing. Oh, but there's the counter invade. iFortunes is going to stop him, and Twisted's going straight for it. It doesn't matter. He doesn't care, but the blue buff has at least been secured. Now we've got a teeny. Now we've got a 2v1, and Twisted is forced. They're staying in the kitchen. They're waiting for it. They're looking for the seal. It's the orange buff. Who did that go to? It went to Moonjumper. The invade has been countered. The fortifications are up. And I think that is the first major step forward for Bugbix as this game progresses into its second minute.
As you predicted, Relic, Bugbix decided to go for the counter invade with the Mr. Mime that worked so perfectly, and it had to be in well coordination with the Serena. It had to be Moonjumper guaranteeing, knowing that they were going to guarantee the buffs and leave Twisted with no gubs there, no energy, and just missing out on XP overall. But this top path here, Flightless Crows is pushing quite a lot. More than 30 points have been scored, and they're still applying the pressure here, really wanting to get the knockout on Einart Sorb. And Ginkgo, you are so close. There it is. But the Scald is very powerful as well. They're going to try to kite it out. The Shell Bell giving them the health back, and they are able to retreat healthily back to their goal.
Yeah, unfortunately, the two on Bugbix there were a little bit too nice to each other. You can see Schmeckel almost trying to be a body shield as the Mew tried to get damage off, and then the Mew just decided to be the body shield for the Slowbro, and they ended up scoring a lot of points anyway. Gotta say, I like Twisted's path. Not Twisted's path, sorry. For Bugbix. I liked the counterplay to the invade from iFortunes because they actually picked up experience on the bottom path. As Cypher was moving there with the Blissey as well. And so they actually had an experience advantage over Twisted as well, which you can still see you can't see to a certain extent now because Twisted is focused purely on wild Pokemon, on picking that XP up, as we see iFortunes only now getting on to level 6, whereas Twisted is on level 7. In goes BF Sage. Moonjumper as well in a bit of a sticky spot here. iFortunes comes in with the energy share, forces Ginkgo back. BF Sage and Dope should be cleaning up this Altaria. In goes iFortunes. I think that it was Doper who did eventually get that. Flightless Crows continuing to score on bottom path, 45 to 125. Ooh. Down goes Doper. The Fairy Frolic comes in from Ginkgo. It's an instant KO as iFortune steps in. The full rotation from Bugbix has come through, but there goes Shark Cat with the Solar Beam. Down goes Mr. Mime. Twisted trying to get the 4 off, but they're really keeping him really honest. There goes Twisted off the face of the Thea Sky Ruins. Sorbs with a massive KO, a double KO at that. Really nice play here from Bugbix. They're using their zone a lot, but Schmeckel's pushing the play forward.
Yes, Backwards is pushing the play forward, and Ginkgo is trying to pressure some more on this Mew, but they're not budging there. Sharkcat dealing all the damage with the Solar Beam. Dopa going in deep. iFortune's defending all of Flightless Crows here. 4v4 is the situation with Moonjumper going in on them, but it's not enough. They have to retreat. Dopa going on Schmeckel, and they don't have enough damage just yet, but the Unite move is used, and they're pushing big, huge here on the top path, Relic.
It's all about the showstopper from Twisted, well timed, and it's allowed the two damage dealers to melt that Regieleki. The team fight is slowly but surely wiggling away from Bugbix's grasp, and that's our first zone down. Flightless Crows lead 180 to 45.
We are getting to a 135 point advantage for Flightless Crows. Super recoverable from Bugbix. And Ginkgo here, look at them go. iFortune in a 1v1 that turns quickly into a 2v1. Sharkhead joining in for the party. Unite move was bopped. Ginkgo goes down, not able to get the berry fast enough. Sharkhead is not happy with that. And they might even go down as well. And it's so close, they
No
do.
way! Incredible. So Fortunes has not only invaded, done what Twisted done to them, picked up both buffs, but gone the 2 KO streak for it as well. Lovely push from Bugbix. It's down to half points for that first zone, but iFortune's forced to pull out. Not going to be able to make it out without the KO coming through from Dopa. The Frolic comes through as well, but not able to pick up the KO on the Mew as we look towards Regirock. Has been sitting here for a good couple of minutes, and now Flightless Crows looking to make that no minute longer.
Yes, they are. And Dopa is zoning them out, getting them close to that goal, taking down the Mew, the goal as well, also the Regirock. So it is a win in this team fight here for Flightless Crows, increasing their advantage for 150 points. And they're moving up for the next Regieleki. They're spawning in 20 seconds. Sharkhead making sure to take down Altaria, the wild jungle, the wild Pokemon here. Taking the XP, leveling up as much as they can, getting the power spikes of the abilities, and joining up in this top path.
Different beginning to the book, but the same ending. Look at those levels across the board for Flightless Crows. Consistently 1 or 2 ahead of their Bugbix counterparts. The Mystical Mirage comes in from the Mew, Shark Cat, Flightless Crows looking good here. Lined up nicely though for the Solar Beam. Big damage dealt there by I Not Sorb. Dopa is not going to be long. No, they are going to be long. Oh my word, they must have had 1% health. The Stomp with a KO, and away they go. Twisted's been caught out. He's gotten himself involved, but look at that, so much health, so much recovery that they're able to once again go back. Energy share with the Blissey, and the Regieleki, I think, is going to go the way of Flightless Crows. No, it's not! The Egg Bomb steal from Cypher, and that's a huge win for Bugbix. I don't think it's going to get very far, though, because Flightless Crows is actually going to be able to stop it there with Twisted before it hits the first zone, and they've transitioned immediately into an attack on the other side.
Wow.
Ginkgo with a 3 KO streak, Moonjumper the only one up, and that is another Blissey ult coming through. Surely the second zone down, or is it? No, there is going to be some jumps in from the base, and they are going to survive to live another day.
This fight, how could Flightless Crows really come back around after losing that Regieleki? The push was amazing. Ginkgo taking down 3 people, the 3 KO streak. Twisted with a 50 sneaky. Scald Bro is fast enough and prevents the 50 from being scored. But the attempt was there, the positioning was there, the strategy was there from Flightless Crows, as it has been from the very start. 10 seconds for this Reggie on the bottom path here. I don't know if they're going to try to push for it. And Twisted is waiting here in a bush, just waiting for the people to go out of their base, miss the jump, and not be able to defend the in the goal there. And everybody is gathering towards central area. Fight is going to be struck in the Rayquaza pit in Relic. I don't know which way this is going.
Good news, Bugbix. It's a much closer game than game number 1. Bad news, Bugbix. Twisted still there. He's still on top path.
Oh,
He's going to score a full 50. Double it up to make 100. At this point, Bugbix has committed to the team battle within the Rayquaza pit. Here comes the slow beam, stopping Ginkgo from getting the damage off. Down goes the Blissey. Important pick. Shark Cat avoids the solar beam. We're looking for that push on the bottom pass. Shark Cat with a rebuttal. Ginkgo half health. Dopa half health. Here comes the Mr. Mime now with the energy. You got the Blissey as well, but Twisted's joined the battle. Oh, they couldn't do it in time. Twisted, the leader, has managed to pick up a double KO here on two of the most important Pokemon that Bugbix needed for that team fight. Now, Dopa and Twisted looking at that bottom path. The lines have been broken. The moral has been shattered. And Flightless Crows have managed to surpass 450 points.
They have managed to do so, and we've seen how much they know when to go for straight goals instead of going for Rayquaza, and they have been doing that. The sneaky Twisted on top path, the bottom path goal with the 100 coming from Dopa. Now Dopa going in on our fortunes, and they're trying to prevent Bugbix from taking down. Oh, look at that! It's Twisted and the Blissey on the goal, guaranteeing a over 400 point lead for Flightless Crows. Only 10 seconds on the clock,
no.
and they can't do anything more. They've been knocked out one after the other, and 60 more from Dopa. It's so close.
Flightless Crows, you've earned your wings and then some. What a performance over 2 games. Bugbix did everything within their power to keep themselves active and in the game heading into the Rayquaza pit. But as soon as they couldn't close the deal on that 5v4 team fight, you just knew that Flightless Crows were in the pound seat. 556 to 173. Once again, you can see that this was a Flightless Crows domination for most of the game, keeping it close. Bugbix, especially with that counter invade. iFortune's getting bold, invading later into the game as well, but really there was no looking back once the level advantage was established. Having a little look now at the stats once again, Ginkgo, you can definitely tell that they're a great Unite player, because that's 2 games in a row where they've hit over 100,000 points, actually getting more damage on this time around than last time around. Twisted with a much more restricted influence, I feel, but even still the MVP for me. His positional play and being able to avert enemy eyes was quite exceptional. Shark Cat as well coming in clutch. Dopa and Shark Cat both nearly hitting 100,000 damage themselves. Wowzers, what worthy champions to round off our Mint Mori series.
What a wrap up. This grand finals really coming to show this team, new to the league, new to everything we have ever seen, because this is really a brand new level of gameplay coming into the Unite Battle Hub channel. This is incredible, and I agree with you, Twisted was amazing, but I believe the merit goes for the whole team together, because you can't have just Twisted doing one thing and the rest of the team not doing their part, and they were really nailing it down. Dopa getting people out of the fight, zoning them out alongside Twisted when Twisted was getting those goals sneaky on the side. Ginkgo just wrecking everybody. Hyper voice, nobody has ears, everybody's bleeding. There's no way any of them have any hearing anymore, because Ginkgo 128,000 damage, really doing the part, of course, alongside Sharkat as well, not to be less than there, almost 100,000 too. Just making sure that all the abilities hit, and that's what I think I've seen the most. The abilities always hit. They have a great micro game. The predictions on those skill shots are so very precise, allowing them to really nail down all the damage they need to secure a good, successful fight.
Great analysis as always. Commiserations, of course, to Bugbix. A shame, but that was a tough ask, given just how good we saw Flightless Crows be up until this point. They have slain all of the experienced players, your Dark Auras, your Haunter X Haunter, your Dawn Shards, and now Bugbix, again, worthy champions. But congratulations, of course, to Haunter X Haunter and Dark Aura for winning 2 of the cups themselves in this 3-chapter series. A chapter series named after Mint Mori, of course, who wanted me to pass on this message to you guys. Hello, everyone. I just wanted wanted to thank you all for competing and watching the 3 tournaments over the weeks. Honestly, I didn't even think it would happen or that people would be interested in it, but it just goes to show how amazing the Pokemon Unite community is. It would not have been possible without players like you and the team organizers. A big shout out to Krabs, of course, and to Progeneer, our 2 moderators, and of course to Digital Bacon on production today, but really leading from the front, those 3, in regards to what the Battle Hub looks like going forward, and boy, does it look good. I'm going to miss you all, but you'll never be forgotten. It really is as shrimple as that. Shout out to Team Shrimple, of course. Wonderful stuff, and thank you so much, Mint Mori, for your service. It has been wonderful to have you, and we wish your retirement, I guess we'd call it, whatever you choose to do in the future, good luck with it. Now,
Prolonged vacation.
prolonged vacation, yes. Now, talking about the future, we've already talked about the Battle Hub Open regionals, right? The Open Series, where we got the October Open with 4 regions. It looks great. It looks fantastic. We can't wait to bring that to you in October. But we have reserved one special surprise for you until the end here. And it's a surprise that details still being finalized. But one rather crucial detail was finalized today. And it is my pleasure as a broadcast manager for the Unite European Cup to announce that the Unite Battle Hub Twitch.tv channel will be your home of the English broadcast for the Unite European Cup. It is a week-long Euros tournament starting September 26th, going all the way to Championship Sunday on October 2nd. So before our October Open opens up with APAC on October 4th, you can enjoy a weeks-long action tournament with the Unite European Cup, of course, brought to you, created by fantastic French Pokemon Unite caster and content creator Pump. He has been fantastic in getting us all, involved on the various different broadcasts. We should have Italian, we should have Portuguese, of course. Pump himself helming the French broadcast. But for your English action, this is the place to find it. There are going to be, hopefully, a number of fantastic games that we're going to enjoy together as the Pokemon Unite players in the EU region are put into a situation that they have never seen before. It's not about playing with your regular 5. It's about playing with the 5 that you can find in your country who are the very best of the best. So be sure to tune into that. A talent announcement should be on the way. Fingers crossed, Tuesday afternoon. So be on the lookout for that on my Twitter at JustRelic, so that all of that is up to date. Right. Thank you all so much for joining us today and for the entire Mint Mori series. Casting Pokemon Unite is a dream. There's never a dull moment, is there? Even in the sweeps, there is something to enjoy, but it's enjoyed better with friends. And all of you, our friends here, please remember to follow the channel for more action from the Unite Battle Hub. Our friend Digital Bacon, of course, we've already given him plenty of praise, but thank you so much for your wonderful production, to Proj and to Krabs for your moderation, to you, the audience, for watching. To Soph, thank you very much for your company. Been wonderful to cast alongside you once again. I've been Just Relic, and from all of us here, it's a very warm goodbye.
Waiting for one of us to cross the line. You got me, and I got you, and we got a lot to prove. They think we're too damaged to fix, but we're just working through a little rust. They like to say we're just young, but I know we won't give this up. Sometimes I lose my mind, and some days it's hard to find the reason why you stay by my side.